Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Walaikum assalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How are you, Abid bhai?
Alhamdulillah, aap sunaye?
मैं बिल्कुल ठीक हूँ, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, very good.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम.
वालेकुम अस्सलाम व रहमतुल्लाहि व
वालेकुम अस्सलाम. अताब साहब, क्या हाल है आपके?
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह.
Assalamu alaikum.
वालेकुम
Walaikum salam.
वालेकुम अस्सलाम.
Okay, ji. Inshallah, we'll start in a few seconds. Still waiting for some people to join up.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम.
वालेकुम अस्सलाम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातुहू.
All right. So inshallah, we'll start and we'll see as more people join, inshallah. Yeah, Brother Amir is here. Okay, nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulil kareem. Amma ba'd, a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Qala Allahu ta'ala, inna hudallahi huwal huda. Wa qala Rasulullahi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, khayrukum man ta'allama al-Qur'ana wa 'allamah. Sadaqallahu al-azim wa sadaqa rasuluhul kareem. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Allahumma arhamni bil Qur'anil azim waj'alhu li imaman wa nuran wa hudan wa rahmah waj'alhu li hujjatan ya rabbil alamin. Amin summa amin. Yassir wa la tu'assir wa tammim bil khair. So assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
अस्सलाम वरहमतुल्लाहि वबरकातुहू.
So alhamdulillah, today special day because today is our 100th session of this class. So it's a milestone, and we want to be very, very thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we never expected this, but alhamdulillah, he put barakah and he kept on bringing us together and back and kept steadfast on this path. So we should be very proud of ourselves and we should be very, very thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
इंशाअल्लाह.
दे दूंगा मैंने क्लास रन कर देना.
So today, the first thing I want to do is I want to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he enabled us to complete this or got here so far. The second thing is I want to thank all the people who have helped me learn. That also includes you. But in this first, the people I'm talking about is those are the people who are my teachers, and I have learned from them in many ways. And whatever I have learned, may Allah bless them for their contribution. And what I do is when I get a chance, if I know them or can I get their contact information, I usually call them and thank them and try to keep in touch with them. So, and then the other thing I do is whatever information I learn from them, I try to pass it on to you guys in an easy to learn or easy to follow way. Then also want to thank all of you. If you guys were not there with me, then it wouldn't be possible that we are here today. So we should be very, very happy and thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that even though we didn't plan this way, we never thought this way, but we are going strong and we should keep it that way.
May
So,
Allah keep on sending blessing on us.
so how do we feel about this?
Alhamdulillah.
So today what I plan to do, inshallah, I want to break away from the routine, and we are not going to cover the next verse from Surah Al-Baqarah. Instead, I am going to share with you some information which I have collected for tonight's session. So are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes.
Is the first screen the Nahmadu wa nusalli ala Rasul Kareem?
Yes, I wanted to start with the dua.
Oh yeah.
So what I want to do, inshallah, let me see if the recording is happening. Yeah, recording is happening, right? You guys can see that the recording is happening?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
The recording is there. Good. So I want to show you this document first. And so what I'm trying to do tonight is to recap on things we have learned. Okay. And some information I have here, or all the information you're going to see, we have already covered in a lot of detail in the last number of years, maybe 2+ years, right? So nothing you see here is new, but I have organized it in a way that you can follow it and maybe inshallah benefit from it. So this is the first document. I'm going to slightly glance through it so that you understand what I mean by this. There are 162 pages, which means that imagine little by little how much we have covered. And this is filtered version of these documents. It's not like the complete version. So what we have been doing from the last 100 sessions is the grammatical analysis of the Quranic verses, correct? So what we have been saying, and for some of you, this is again is a more organized review, because some of you who are from my Saturday class, you started in the middle. So, and this, by the way, I have shared it with you guys also when we started the grammatical analysis in the Saturday class. So the very first step when you look at a verse, that you need to determine the parts of speech, right? And we know that these three parts are the noun, the particle, and the verb. Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm sure that most of you or all of you are very, very familiar with this. So in English language, the parts of speech are 8. However, in the Arabic language, they have grouped 5 of them under the category of noun, because they are in one way or the other, they are noun. For example, noun, pronoun, adjective, adverb, and interjection. So when you count it, even in Arabic, the parts of speech are 8, but they have combined 5 of them under one category. So that condensed it to 3 categories: ism, fail, and verb, and the particle, which is harf. So we have harf jar, and we also have haruf. Right. So, and so next time when you look at a verse, the very first thing you should be thinking about that what are the different parts of speech. Okay. Then the second step is, if you come across a noun, then we know that the noun is made up of 4 properties, and these are the most important properties to know, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What are those properties? We need to know the gender, number,
Type and status.
status, and the type, right? So we know what that means. We want to see if it's a masculine, feminine, if it's 1, 2, or more than 2, and is it a proper noun? Is it a common noun? And what is the status? Is it rafa, nasab, or jar?
Yeah.
So I'm sure I don't have to explain any of that right now, because you understand, correct? So if you feel that you need to stop and explain something, please let me know. But since I have a lot of material to cover, I'm just going to maybe skim through, but then the next document I'm going to show you, we'll slow down and we will go over that in more detail. So then once we know this, we know that at the end, either we're going to end up with a nominal sentence or a verbal sentence. Agree?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
So everything you need to know about the nominal sentence, if you want to really review and you want to go back and you want to understand, then maybe this is where you should go and read and look at the documentation. I'm showing it to you. And Alhamdulillah, it's very nicely done by some people, and I'm just lucky to find it, and I'm putting it together for us. And this will give you a lot of information, like, okay, what is a Jumla Ismiya? Right? Jumla Ismiya, then what is the role of Jarun wa Majrurun in the nominal sentence? So we have examples. And then we also have the nominal sentence with Mudafun wa Mudafun alayh, right? So if you have noticed, in every class, we are coming across some of these or most of these or these over and over again, right?
Yeah.
And in the beginning, we had to stop and think. But now, Alhamdulillah, it comes to us naturally. And you notice that I don't even use the camera anymore, because we can do a lot of things on the screen with the help of these tools we have learned over the years, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you continue scrolling, then you would find out that how the gender plays a role in the nominal sentence, right? Like Muannas, which is feminine, and then Muzakkar. And inshallah, you can probably look at it on your free time. Then we also have the situation where we have the khabar muqaddam, meaning in a nominal sentence, the khabar can come in the beginning and the mubtada can go a little bit later. And the purpose of that is to create emphasis in the sentence, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then if we are dealing with the nominal sentence, then we know there is a khabar, and the khabar could be of many types. For example, we can have a sentence which is a Jumla Ismiya or Jumla Feiliya. So even the khabar could be itself a Jumla Feiliya or Jumla Ismiya.
Mhm.
So far, so good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So since today I wanted to focus on the Jumla Feiliya, I just wanted to introduce this document to you and leave it for you to read it on your own. And then if needed be, we can go over this in the following classes, right? Because I think it's a good breaking point for us to maybe clarify some concepts moving forward. What do you think?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it will be good revision too.
Yes. So in that case, we will go through that document in more detail because there are so many pages. So the stuff I wanted to show you today was this. And now, since most of us are from, we understand Urdu, and this material I got is written in Urdu. So I hope that everybody can follow me. And as I speak, I'm going to, inshallah, try to translate into English as much as possible. Yeah. So can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Jumla Feiliya.
Jumla Feiliya. So we know that in the Arabic language, there are two kinds of sentences. One of them is Jumla Ismiya and one of them is Jumla Feiliya.
Jumla Feiliya.
In the Jumla Ismiya, as is visible from the name, it starts with a noun. But in Jumla Feiliya, it starts with a fail, right? So the minimum components for a Jumla Feiliya is the fail plus file. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we can also have maf'ul. Now, if we have the fail plus file alone, we know that kind of Jumla Feiliya is known as Feile Lazim. Feile Lazim.
That's it.
Meaning we only concerned about the file. The meaning is sort of complete. We don't need to look for anything else. So anything which is suffice with the fail and a file is known as Feile Lazim. Any questions on that?
No.
Any questions on that? No.
No, thank you.
Okay. Right. So then if you have a Jumla Feiliya where you have the fail, file and maf'ul, then that is known as Feile Muta'addi. Right? So if you look at this, this is the very basic formula for Jumla Feiliya. We need a fail, we need a file, and we need a maf'ul, and that is equal to a Jumla Feiliya.
Jumla Feiliya.
Okay. So one thing which you have probably not paid attention to, or maybe didn't think of it much, but the i'rab of these things is very, very important. Yeah. So in Jumla Fi'liya, the file is normally going to be a ism, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And we know that that file is always going to be in the status of Rafa.
Rafa.
Yes. So when something is in the status of Rafa, it is known as Marfu,
Marfu.
right? Similarly, the Maf'ul is in the status of Nasab. So anything which is in the status of Nasab is known as Mansub,
So,
right? Now, similarly, the Fail could also have an I'rab, okay? But we never paid any attention to that, but technically a Fail could also have an I'rab, okay? So when you look at a Fail, one thing we know that a Fail could be Mabni, or in some conditions, it could be Morab. Okay. Now, these names, it will come back to you if I say non-flexible and flexible.
Mabni is non-flexible. Marab is flexible.
Yeah, Mabni is non-flexible.
And Ma'arab is flexible.
Yes. So, what does that mean? If I say Zahaba, is Zahaba is a fail?
yes.
Yeah.
Right? So based on Mabni, if needed be, I can consider that Rafa or Nasab or Jar. Making sense?
Yeah.
Okay. However, what is Morab? Morab also have two subcategories,
Yeah.
fully flexible and partly flexible.
Partly flexible.
The partly flexible only changes in two statuses, right?
Yeah.
And in the fully flexible, you can have all the three
Three
statuses.
states.
Yes.
Yes.
So remember, in Fi'l Mudare, there are certain words when they come in front of the Fi'l Mudare, the Mudare can change from one position to the next. It can go into the status of Nasab. Follow?
Yeah.
Remember,
Yes.
if I use the word lan or lam, then we said Mudari will change from regular strength to lafif or latif, khafif. Khafif means light. And then if there is a certain kind of word in front of it, it will take the jazm. Okay. So if you guys can hold on a second, I'll be right back.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so where are we? So any question on the Mabni and Morab? Any questions? Okay. So if you look at the following information down below, the fail is qatala, right? And
Yes.
Daudu Jaluta.
Jaluta.
Now, is Daudu in the status of Rafa?
Yes.
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 Okay,
Yes.
so is it qualifying as a file?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the
Jaluta is Nasab.
Nasab.
so
Right.
so we know that that is a good candidate for
Maf'ul.
a fold, right? So if we have to do translation word for word, Qatala mean he killed. Yes,
Mhm.
he killed, right?
Yeah.
He killed.
So, but we know that Qatala is the first siga.
Yes.
And what is our rule for first siga? That if the first siga is there, and if there is a rafa noun after that, then it has an outside file.
Yes.
Making sense?
Yeah.
So do we see an outside file?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Dawood.
we would say Dawood killed, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, but the meaning of kata mean katal kiya. Usne katal kiya. Okay? Because he killed, right? Hua is there. But in this situation, since the Dawood is there, we know that Dawood is the file. Now, who did he kill? Jalut. Jaluta is Nasab. So we know that this is the maful.
Maful.
Yes.
Yeah.
So far so good. Are you guys with me on this,
Yes.
Yes.
sisters?
Yes, alhamdulillah.
Yeah, Alhamdulillah.
Okay, good. Sister Homa, are you with us today?
Yes, salam alaikum. Yes.
Assalam. Are you following this?
Yes.
Okay. So now let me show you the next page and look at this now. If we have to do the the tarkeeb or the recipe we have been doing, if we write it like this, you remember I used to write it like this on the piece of paper,
Yeah.
and even in the tool we used to do this. So when you see katala, in your mind you have to start thinking about the following. So first thing you're going to say is a past tense. It's
Fi'l
fi'l madi, right? Now, what is the meaning of musbat maruf? Meaning it is a positive sentence and it is active voice. Is that making sense? Musbat means
Yeah.
positive.
Yeah.
So this is a positive sentence. It's not a negative sentence. And maruf mean known, active voice, right? Majhul is the passive voice, unknown, right? The file is unknown. Now we also, yes. So this is how you should be thinking when you are doing the grammatical analysis. Now you may not write this down because you haven't been doing it, but these are the required pieces of information you need to write down when you are doing the recipe. If you are going to explain it to somebody, this is how you need to do the complete picture. So you're going to say this is fi'l madi. What did that mean? We identified what kind of verb is this. Yes. And then we said, is it an active voice or passive voice? We said this is an active voice. Is it a positive sentence or a negative sentence, or a negative fail or positive fail? It's a positive. So we say musbat. Then what siga is that? How many sigas we have for fi'l madi?
14.
14. So this is the siga wahid mudhakkar ghaib. Now how do we, yes, so wahid is singular, which is the gender, sorry, the number. Mudhakkar is the gender, is for a male, and ghaib means third person.
Third person.
Now, does any of this information new to you?
No.
No, right? This is what we have been doing day in, day out, right?
These are the qualities of Siga number 1.
Yes. So, but you need to write them down.
Yes.
Or you need to know them in this format when you are doing the grammatical analysis. Then Daudu, is it in the place of a rafa? Right?
Yeah.
It is supposed to be rafa. So this is the file. File mean the person who is doing this fail, the person who is doing this action, right?
Yeah.
Maful is the one who, upon whom the action is getting happening, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then you are supposed to say that the fail अपने फाइल और मफूल बिही से मिलकर जुमला फेलिया खबरिया बन गया. क्या बना?
Yes.
Jumla Felia Khabriya.
Yes. So in English we'll say the verb with its subject and its object becomes a verbal sentence. Now khabariya, even if you don't say it, jumla felia is good enough. Making sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So then if you are doing the translation in Urdu, the sequence will be that you have to put file first, then the maful bihi, and then the fail. Okay. So if you put that, file is what? Dawood. And maful bihi is Jalut. And what is the fail? Qatal kiya. Right? But if I say Dawood, Jalut, Qatal kiya, it doesn't make sense. Does it make sense?
No.
No. But if I say it in English, Dawood killed Jalut, it makes sense.
Yes.
Right? But in Urdu, I would have to go the extra mile. I would say दाऊद ने जालूत को कत्ल किया.
किया.
Right? अब अगर ये जो sequence है, if we change that, if we bring the maful bihi first, and then you do the translation, will that make any sense?
Oh, bro.
पैसिव वॉइस बन जाएगा ना.
नहीं, अगर आप सिर्फ मफूल भी को पहले ले आए तो बन जाएगा जालूत को.
कत्ल
असल
किया
में
जालूत.
बन तो जाएगा, लेकिन जो
जालूत ने कत्ल किया था उसको.
हाँ, लेकिन
कत्ल
जो
किया गया, जालूत कत्ल किया गया दाऊद
मजहूल,
से.
वो तो मजहूल हो जाएगा फिर ना.
वो
कत्ल
मजहूल
किया
नहीं
जालूत.
बनेगा. देखें, बात सुने, अगर आप पहले मफूल भी ले आए तो बनेगा जालूत को दाऊद ने कत्ल किया. सिर्फ सीक्वेंस बदलेगा, लेकिन जुमले में कोई मजहूल नहीं आएगा. राइट? सोचें एक मिनट के लिए. जस्ट स्विच.
नहीं, इसके बाद में मैं वैसे कह रहा हूँ, अगर हम इसको कत्ल किया गया इस्तेमाल करें तो फिर वो मजहूल की शक्ल में होगा ना. अगर दाऊद नहीं होगा फिर.
नहीं, मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ.
कत्ल किया
मैं
गया.
सिर्फ नहीं, मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ. मैं सिर्फ ये कह रहा हूँ कि अगर हम फाइल को मफूल बिही की जगह पे ले आए और मफूल बिही को फाइल की जगह पे ले आए, तब भी जुमले का ट्रांसलेशन हो सकता है.
हाँ, हो सकता है. जालूत को
है ना?
दाऊद
ने
ने
कत्ल किया, तो वो इज ओके, एक्सेप्टेबल. बट जो डिफॉल्ट पैटर्न सीक्वेंस है वो ये है कि पहले फाइल आएगा, फिर मफूल बिही आएगा, फिर फेल आएगा.
फिर हमें ये करना पड़ेगा, अगर जालूत को पहले ले आए तो फिर जुमले की तस्हीह करनी पड़ेगी.
वो हो जाएगा जालूत को दाऊद ने कत्ल किया. माने वही रहेंगे, लेकिन उसका सीक्वेंस
सीक्वेंस जुमला गलत हो जाएगा. मतलब उर्दू के लिहाज से जुमला सही नहीं बनेगा.
ने से बनेगा, लेकिन
माने
यार
तो नहीं, देखे ना, सोचें, मायने तो वही है. भाई दाऊद ने जालूत को कत्ल किया या जालूत को दाऊद ने कत्ल किया. Isn't it the same?
Yeah, it is.
Right? It's just the sequence is different. But before we get too much involved in that, do you see the big picture that how simplicity plays a role in this, that if you follow this formula, then you can do the translation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that making sense?
As long as the file is Rafa and the maful is mansub, then the meaning is not going to change.
They're always going to be Rafa
Yeah.
and Nasab. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
that is the rule you need to keep in your mind.
Yeah.
That after the fail, if it's Siga number 1 or Siga number 4 in a Jumla Ismiya or Failiya, if there is a Rafa, then it's an outside file.
Yeah.
And is most likely going to be a noun.
So brother Ahmed, question
Yes,
here.
brother. Yes.
So looks like this is on most normal sequence for a verbal sentence.
Yes, that's
And
right.
the way you were explaining that if it was Katala Jaluta Daudo, we can definitely translate, but normally it's not written in that way.
It is possible, but you need to know by knowing the Arab, right?
Yeah.
If I say Katala Jalutu Dauda, now
Then the meaning will change.
the meaning is completely changed,
Yeah.
right? Because now I'm saying Jalut killed Daud. Yes.
Yeah.
No, I got that point.
Yes,
That's very clear that based on the kind of status,
Right.
if
So,
it's a Rafa or if it's Nasab, that would change. But I'm saying is the sequence is normally the one which we are seeing here. But if the sequence is changed, which is less likely, but the translation would be other way around then.
yes. So what I want you to take away from this, that as soon as you are looking at a Jumla Failiya, you're identifying the 3 components, the fail, and right after that, the next logical one is the file, and then the next logical one is the maful. Yes. We also have mutalliq. We will look at it later, but right now, as soon as you see a verbal sentence and you determine that it's a verbal sentence, you're looking for a fail, you're looking for a file, and you're looking for a maful. Now, depending on the language, you will see that how the translation will look and feel. If it makes sense, that's acceptable. But the guideline is you are going to take the file first, then you will translate the maful second, and then you will translate the fail. Agree? When we did that, and we also explained it, what we are trying to do, then the tarjuma will be following this pattern: file plus maful bihi plus fail. Dawood ne Jalut ko qatl kiya. in English, this is going to be different. We said Dawood killed. Dawood killed Jalut.
Jalut.
Or Jalut killed by Dawood.
Dawood.
So, but you get the big picture here. So let's take a look at the next one. And then by the end of this, since we have very limited time, inshallah, you'll start to see the different variations in the sentence. Okay?
Inshallah.
Now, if it's only daraba, okay? Now, daraba, does it have any, is it a verbal sentence?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so let's think about this together. Daraba is Salasi Mujarrad, correct?
Yes.
Meaning there are only 3 letters. Yes?
Yeah.
And they, then this is from the family of, like, it could be from, this is Daraba. So we have Fataha, Nasara, Daraba, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Daraba, is it like Fe'l Madi?
Yes.
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 Okay. Is it Musbat Maruf? Is it positive?
Yes.
And is it
Yes.
active voice?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it Siga Wahid?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. Is it
Muzakkar,
male?
right.
Muzakkar?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And Ghaib mean is a third
Third
person.
person.
Yes. Now, when we know that when there is a first siga and there is nothing after that, do we see any rafa or marfu ism after that?
No.
No.
Right.
So we know that the hidden file is the huwa.
Huwa.
Huwa. Zamir.
Is huwa is the zamir?
Yeah.
And is it attached or detached?
Detached.
Attached.
Is it detached? Huwa is, see, we don't say, we always say huwa Muslim, right?
Yes.
Right? So it's a detached. Huwa is always separate from Muslim, right?
Yeah.
So mustatar mean what? Hidden.
Different.
Mustatar mean hidden.
Hidden.
Mustatar means something hidden.
Inside it.
In
Yeah.
daraba, that means he hit. What is the translation? He hit.
He hit.
Now,
It.
if we don't see a maf'ul in this, and there is only the fail and the file, then is it a failure? Jumla is failure?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it fail lazim?
Yeah.
Yes, because we only have
Fail
fail
file.
and the file. Okay. So how are we going to verbalize it? We say fail अपने file से मिलकर जुमला फेलिया खबरिया, ठीक है? और fail अपने file से मिलकर बना जुमला
Jumla
फेलिया.
Felia Khabriya.
So खबरिया mean it is giving you a news, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Some information.
So any questions on this? Any questions on this?
ये मरफू मुतसल ये क्या है?
Muttasil is mean, first of all, is saying muttasil mean detached.
Okay.
Muttasil mean detached. And marfu mean, remember when we are dealing with pronouns, there are the nouns of rafa category,
Yes. Yes.
and then there are nouns, the pronouns
Nasab
of
and
nasab and jar. So huwa is from the
Marfu.
family of
Marfu.
marfu family.
Yeah.
Is
Brother
that clear?
Abid,
Muttasil is should be attached. Munfasil is detached.
I think it's marfu mutasil. We could consider that marfu is included, mutasil is included.
Yes, it's in the same word. So yeah.
Okay,
Uh,
that's
so-
fine. That is fine. So, but overall, you recognize all this information, and
Yeah.
we have looked at it over and over again. In the Quran corpus, all this information is given in the English on the bottom of the verses. Remember?
Yeah.
And in the beginning, we used to go over them, but then we stopped doing it in the sake of saving time. But anybody in this class does not know what Fi'l Madi mean, what is Musbat Maruf mean, Siga Wahid, Muzakkar Ghaib, Huwa is Zamir, is 90% of this information is known to you? Yes or no?
Alhamdulillah.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. Okay. So now look at the third version or another variation of this. Khalaqa Allahu al-insana. Right? Is Allahu Rafa?
Yes.
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 So, and khalaqa is it a fail madi?
Mazi.
File Madi.
Is it a siga number 1?
Yes.
Yeah.
Number one.
Okay.
Ghaib.
And
Muzakkar
then after that we find a rafa noun. So is it an inside file or outside file?
Outside.
That's
fine.
fine.
Okay. Al insana, is it nasab or Rafa or jar?
Nasab.
It is nasab.
Nasab.
That means in my,
Maf'ul.
according to my definition, as soon as I see a rafa, I know that is my file. And as soon
Yeah.
as I see my nasab, I know that is my maf'ul,
Maf'ul.
right? And khalaqa also from salasi mujarrad, right? So it's a fi'l madi, musbat ma'ruf, matlab is it a positive active voice, siga
Yeah.
wahid muzakkar, and it is ghaib, it's a third person,
Third person.
right? So fail अपने फाइल और मफूल से बिही से मिलकर जुमला फेलिया खबरिया. Again, yes.
Brother Abid, a very basic question. What is the difference between maf'ul and maf'ul bihi?
Okay, remember, in short, if I say maf'ul,
Yeah.
then that is object.
Object.
Okay, but maf'ul has 5 different categories. Okay, remember in the English language, when I say that, if I say Khalid ate the cake last night happily. Okay,
Yeah.
what information I gave you? I said that Khalid ate. What did
Khalid.
he eat? What part was the cake?
Cake.
Yes.
Yeah.
When? At night. How? Happily.
Happily.
Condition. Yeah.
So there are 4 or 5 different components of that details about the noun.
Maf'ul,
Very
maf'ul.
basic one, the very first one, which is the what version, like what, that is called maf'ul bihi. Follow? If you go back to the lectures, we had maf'ul bihi, maf'ul fihi, maf'ul mutlaq. There are a bunch of categories, right? So we use maf'ul bihi and maf'ul as interchangeably, right? That's the very basic
Okay.
form of
Okay. Got
saying
it.
that this is a maf'ul, right? But maf'ul bihi is normally the what part explaining the what, right?
Hmm.
Okay,
When-
so yes,
Brother,
go ahead. Yes,
It's in your example, when you said about this cake one, so maful bihi in that one would be the cake.
cake, yes,
Oh, perfect.
right?
Yes.
Now, again, in the, because of the saving the time, I know this is a lot of material which I cannot cover in one hour. So I was just trying to get some basic information across, but this is a good conversation. We could take it to the next session.
Yes, alhamdulillah.
Yes, because now I think we have done enough analysis, and maybe we can stop and go back and start to clarify some of these concerns, right? So if we do the translation, then we will put file first. So we'll say Allah, and then the maf'ul bihi will be insan, and khalaqa is takhliq farmaya. ठीक है ना? अब अल्लाह के लिए हम इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं तख्लीक किया, तख्लीक फरमाया टू बी मोर आदाब के साथ, राइट? तो फिर हमें ये उर्दू में लगाना पड़ेगा, अल्लाह ने इंसान को तख्लीक फरमाया, राइट? सो ये ट्रांसलेशन जब हम अब नेक्स्ट टाइम उर्दू कुरान में पढ़ेंगे तो हमें ये समझ में आएगी कि व्हाई इज दिस इज द वे ट्रांसलेशन इज, बिकॉज फर्स्ट इज द फाइल, देन मफूल बिही, and then the fail comes at the end in the Urdu language. In the English language, it could be different, right? So Allah created the man. So Allah file came first, then the verb, and then the maf'ul. You see that in English language, the sequence changed a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So far so good.
Brother Abid,
Yes, brother.
if we change here in Arabic, Allahu khalaqal insana, then the meaning will remain same.
No. So let's say if you say khalaqal insana Allahu, let's say you did that, right?
Yeah.
The meaning will not change, but that doesn't sound like a good way of putting
Yeah.
it together, right?
Yeah.
Because al-insana is still nasab, yeah? But if you say khalaqal insanu Allaha, then you have totally
It will
changed the meaning.
complete change. Yeah.
Follow?
Yes, it will completely change the meaning.
Yes. So we shouldn't be doing that, and we should be very, very,
Yes.
that's why we're putting all this effort, so that next time when we read something, at least we know this information. Okay.
अगर तो आबिद भाई अगर तो कोई जानबूझ के ऐसा पढ़ता है फिर तो वो इस्लाम से खारिज हो जाता है।
जी बिल्कुल। Okay, so
And also that will change the sentence to a jumla ismiya, doesn't it?
if we say khalaqal insanu Allah, it will still be jumla fi'liya, right? Because they still have khalaqa.
Yeah. But if we start with Allahu, that will be jumla ismiya.
That's right. Then it will become Allahu khalaqal insana. Then it will become jumla ismiya. Allah become mubtada. Khalaqal insana become a jumla. You know, like khalaqal insana will be a jumla fi'liya, and it will become the khabar or mubtada. Can you see that what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. So Allahu khalaqal insana, that is also valid, but then the situation changed from jumla fi'liya to jumla ismiya. Okay. Now look at this one. Khalaqallahu sab'a samawatin. Right? Okay. So the only thing changed here, that instead of al-insana, we have sab'a samawatin. Okay. Sab'a samawatin means 7 heavens. Right?
मुदाफ इलैह.
So that is the next concept I want to tell you, that a maf'ul bihi, instead of becoming a simple noun, it could be murakkab naqis. Murakkab naqis. No. Before you go into murakkab izafi, think about murakkab naqis. And murakkab naqis of 4 kind. Murakkab jari, murakkab ishari, murakkab tawsifi, murakkab izafi. And these, we have learned all of those in detail. We know that murakkab izafi can be a maf'ul bihi. Is that making sense?
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at khalaqa first. We know that we already looked at it. Fi'l madi, musbat ma'ruf, siga wahid, mudhakkar ghaib. Follow?
Yeah.
And what about Allah? So the way we want to talk about Allah, over here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the file. So we want to be a little bit respectful, and we say that loves Allah is Ismul Jalala, and that loves is file. Making sense? So just for the out of the respect and keeping the things into perspective, we don't say Allah is majroor or Allah is nasab or Allah is jar. We say love say Allah, which is Ism Jalala, is the file. Is that making sense?
Yes.
Okay. Now, sab'a samawatin. Now we identified it already that sab'a samawatin is mudaf, mudafun ilayh. Why? Why is that? We know by default that the Arabic numbers, the counting numbers, the numbers which are under 10, we have looked at numbers from 1 to 10, they are a special kind of mudaf. Follow?
Yes.
So then we know that if it's a mudaf, then it must have its counterpart, which is mudafun ilayh. So that sab'a samawatin together will become murakkab izafi, and murakkab izafi hokar as a unit will become maf'ul bihi. Allah is the file, and sab'a by itself is nothing. Samawatin by itself is nothing. But when they become together, they become one unit. They become a murakkab. Murakkab is a compound of 2 or more words. Then murakkab izafi hokar, it becomes maf'ul bihi. Any questions on that?
What will be the status of it?
Okay, so that is a very good question. Now, since sab'a has its own status and samawatin has its own status, correct?
Yes.
If you look at samawatin alone, it is in the status of jar.
Yeah.
And sab'a is in the status of nasab. Yes? Right? But where is it? It's in the place of maf'ul bihi. Yes?
Yeah.
Now together, if it's a maf'ul, it's in the place of maf'ul bihi. What is the Arab of maf'ul bihi?
Nasab.
Nasab, mashallah. So we will say this is mahallan nasab. It is in the this unit is in the place of a thing which is supposed to be nasab status. Does that make
Yes.
sense?
Yeah.
So in other words, the Arabs we are seeing, or status we are seeing is Sabah Samawat are following the routine of Murakkab Izaf.
Yes, because over here, Sab'a is nasab and Samawatin can be taken as nasab as well. Right? Because Samawatin, nasab and jar, they will stay still together.
Yes.
But I'm trying to give you a different concept that when you look at a unit, which is more than one item and it becomes a murakkab or whatever, it could have been a different a jumla fe'liya here. We have seen that. But then the Arab of that complete unit is based on the location, that where it is coming from. Is it acting as a maf'ul bihi? Then it will be in the status of nasab. Okay. So if we follow the same pattern, fa'il will come first. So Allah will come first. And then maf'ul bihi is Saat Asman. Sabah Samawat mean Saat Asman. And what is khalaqa? Banaye. So Allah ne Saat Asman banaye.
Aye.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the seven heavens, right?
Yes.
Good. So far, so good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Now, by the way, is this exercise helping you clarify some of these things we have been doing on a bigger verses?
Alhamdulillah.
It's
And
refreshing.
recalling our old sessions and all the previous sessions.
Good. Any other, somebody else wanted to say something? So some feedback will be good. So what do you think? Anybody else?
Yes, it's good. It's good revision, because we most of this I had forgot, but now it's coming back.
Okay, sisters. Somebody from the
Yes.
sisters? Okay.
Yes.
So are you finding this more like now, because you already know them, but now maybe some of the unknowns will become clear and you know why what certain things were done in a certain way. Yeah?
Yes. Yes.
Sister Nasreen, are you with us? Okay. Sister Homa?
Yes, alhamdulillah. It makes things
Okay,
clear.
I think Sister Fazilat is here as well. Sister Fazilat has been very, very quiet all this time. Are you there, Sister Fazilat?
Yes, I'm here, brother. Yeah. Alhamdulillah, it's a good review. I was thinking I didn't know much, but once you redo the review, so I think it's I know pretty much. Yeah, so that's good.
That's the thing. That's the beauty of the human brain. We always underestimate ourselves, but we know a lot of information. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's look at the next one. Khalaqallahu as-samawati wal arda. Okay. Over here, the only thing which changed. Okay, brother Javed, I think I'm gonna mute you for a second. Okay. All right. So can you guys see that the only thing different here is as-samawati wal arda? Okay, is as-samawati, is it a status of nasab?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Because samawat is the jama and it's a feminine. So we know muslimatun, muslimatin, muslimatin. That's my reference for you to understand that. So in both nasab and jar is going to be as-samawati. Right? Since there is al, so we are saying samawati. If there was no al, then samawatin. Yes, like muslimatin. Yeah. But then we have wow in between, and we know that wow is atifa. Right? So what happens, and we have talked about that sometimes we have this wow between two nouns. So the one before it is called matufun ilay, and the forward one, in the front one is called matuf. Making sense? So this as-samawati wal ardi will become one unit, and so we will say matuf ilay apne matuf se milkar maf'ul bihi bana. Making sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Khalaqa and Allah. Yeah, Sister Homa, question?
Yes, I was wondering why it's not RD, same as Samawat.
What is it not?
It's why the R, it's
Oh,
not
because
jar.
look. As-samawat is plural.
Muannath.
No. That's right.
Jama muannath it does not take nasb, and ard
Yeah,
is
ta doesn't accept
ard
zabar.
is mudakkar.
No, that is correct, but what she's asking that why al-ardi is not in the status of, why is not ardi? So the reason I'm explaining is there is a reason. Ard is singular, as-samawati is plural and is feminine. So the example I gave you was muslimatun. Muslimatun mean Muslim women, right? So muslimatun is the jama for rafa status. As-samawatin nasab status, and as-samawatin jar status. You have to go back to that article. But al-arda is considered singular. So we know that in singular is ardu, arda, ardi, right? So since as-samawati here is nasab and there is a atifa, they both have to follow the Arab. So as-samawati is nasab, al-arda is nasab because it's singular.
Both are nasab. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it making sense?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
so both of them are nasab.
Yes, because of the as-samawati being plural, the plural feminine is always, even the nasab is also as-samawati, right? You
So
need
one,
to, yeah.
so one other question, is there a rule behind why as-samawati is coming first and al-arda is coming second? Couldn't if it was al-arda was samawati, will that be right also?
That is a good question, but logically it looks that the plural comes first and then the singular.
That's exactly I was looking for. There is some
Right.
rule behind why it's
So I don't know that rule, but inshallah we may stumble upon it someday. But at the moment, I'm just trying to give you a different.
We got it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
got it.
So if you do this, the formula still stays the same.
Yeah.
You will say the fail apne file or maful bihi se milkar jumla failiya khabariya. But in this situation, the maful bihi is a combination of matuf and matuf ilay. Yeah. Before it was mudaf mudafun ilay. Before it was something else. And now I'm giving you another variation of the maful bihi. So Allah ne आसमानों और जमीन को पैदा फरमाया या पैदा किया. Allah created the heavens and the earth. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So since I'm focusing on the Urdu, so but you understand that even in English we know that, and we have already talked about all of this in both languages, right? So depending on which language you're translating, try to focus on that and just keep things simple, then just follow the rules. Yeah.
Does this mean the asman is plural and zameen is single?
Singular, because zameen ko actually hum usko as a unit, as a singular lete hain, right? Heavens kitni hai? 7. ठीक है ना? और जमीन कितनी है? एक ही है ना?
एक ही, 7 है.
नहीं, जमीन भी 7 है.
आसमान.
जमीन तो एक ही है भाई.
एक ही है.
अभी तक तो एक ही है.
हमने तो पढ़ते 7 जमीन 7 आसमान अल्लाह ने.
7 जमीन नहीं है, 7 आसमान है और एक ही जमीन. I could be wrong, but so far this is what we are understanding. Okay, let's look at this one. Okay, ja'alna al-layla libasan. Yeah. Okay. अब जो ja'alna है, is it from ja'ala?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it fi'l madi?
Yes.
Okay. Is it musbat ma'ruf? Is it active voice positive? Okay.
Yeah.
What siga is this?
14.
So what is the noun here? What pronoun is it?
Nahnu.
Nahnu. So we know that siga number 14, and after that I have a nasab and I have another nasab. You see that? Al-libasa is a nasab, and al-layla is a nasab. Yes? So when we don't see a rafa outside, and first of all, is siga number 1 or 4 there? No, this is siga number 14, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay, when we see siga number 14, do we really even have to worry about outside file?
No.
No. As soon as I see siga number 14, I know that my file is hidden inside Jalna. Right? So it's Nahnu. Everybody clear on that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this Zamir becomes na, because nahnu will be converted into na. Ja'al na. Al-layla is a first nasab. So can I call it maful bihi awwal?
Yes.
And libasan maful bihi sani?
Yes.
Yes. Everybody clear on that?
Yes.
So then fail अपने फाइल मफूल बिही अव्वल और मफूल बिही सानी से मिलकर जुमला फेलिया। हमने जालना मीन किसने? हमने बी रात को लिबास बनाया। या हम कह सकते हैं लिबासा इज the literal meaning of libas is libas, but we can also say हमने रात को ढांपने वाला बनाया। क्योंकि लिबास किस लिए होता है? ढांपने के लिए होता है ना, to hide something, right? तो हमने रात को लिबास बनाया।
So question over here is al-layla libasa, is it murakkab tawsifi?
Murakkab tawsifi. Because see, in order to be murakkab tawsifi, it will become al-layla al-libasa.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have to keep in mind that for murakkab tawsifi, all four properties of nouns should follow
Be the same. Okay.
And it follows the mawsuf.
I'm trying to connect that al-layla libasa. How we will be understanding that what is the relationship between al-layla libasa? With translation, we are saying that raat ko libas banaya, jalna, we made. But how we will say al-layla libasa, that how they are connected?
Brother Altaf, you know how in Jumla Felia we had Mubtada and we have Khabar? We can have Mubtada 1, Mubtada 2, Mubtada 3. We can also have Khabar 1, Khabar 2, Khabar 3.
Right.
So you, as I said, we say we created the night as ornament. In English mein agar tarjuma karu, right? So I would need something. I would need something to help me out to complete the sentence, right?
Yeah.
So that is why हमने कहा रात को, ये को कहाँ से आया? Because of Urdu language. क्योंकि उससे बात हमने रात लिबास बनाया तो वो नहीं सेंटेंस बनता, right? तो हमें अपनी तरफ से मुहावरतन उसमें को ऐड करना पड़ा, right? Even though को नजर नहीं आ रहा यहाँ पे कहीं.
We could, if libasa was not there, we could say हमने रात को बनाया.
हाँ, लेकिन यहाँ पे रात को क्या बनाया? लिबास बनाया ना.
Because the night.
That's the what they call it, mutalliq khabar.
No, it's not mutalliq khabar.
It's just telling that the night covers the daylight.
This libasa, the lam is not lame jara here. It would have been correct if his lam was libasa, lame jara. Libas se libasa bana, right? Okay, libas is muzakkar. Yes.
Right.
The libasun, right? जब मुदक्कर को नसब में लेके जाते हैं सिंगुलर को तो उसमें एक एक्स्ट्रा अलिफ लगाते हैं, लिबासन. Follow?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the end of the slide. I had 7 of them, but as you can see, I had to really rush through it because of the timing constraint.
Excellent.
But Alhamdulillah, I feel that being a 10th, the 100th session, I think we did a good review, and this is just the beginning, inshallah. But if this makes sense to you, if most of you get 80-90% out of this information and some of the unknowns were clarified, then I think we are on the good spot. What do you think?
Yes.
Yeah. So please, I'm going to share this information with you right after the class. So look at these documents. There is a treasure, tons of useful information for you. And it's a condensed version of the information you're looking for. So reading these will take you to the next level, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Okay. And I have said that many times, and I want to repeat this so that you feel that what have you accomplished so far. Let's say if you are going to enroll for a alim course and you are going to a madrasa, like a regular madrasa, which is like 4 or 5 years long. Yes, you know how they go for bachelors and they become an alim. So the Arabic you have known so far, or you have learned so far in the last 2 years, is equal to the 2 years of curriculum from that madrasa.
MashaAllah.
Okay, so you should feel very, very happy and proud, and maybe not in entirety, but also think that we did not act it as a full-time student either. We did not do any of our homeworks. We did not even bother to write down certain things. We did not do any reviews. So with part-time effort, we are still at the level with the material they would have covered in 2 years. We have covered that more or less same amount of material, and our in understanding and information about the Quran and the verses is huge. They don't even go to the grammatical analysis until they finish all 5 books of their curriculum, right? But we started to challenge ourselves, and we jumped right in the middle, that instead of going through all the nitty-gritty details, we said, okay, we will start the analysis and we'll apply these rules as we go along. So with that, I hope and I pray that we are all feeling super excited and very thankful, feeling really accomplished, feeling a lot of blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Jazakallah khairan everyone for your dedication, your patience, and please let it go at this point. This is, you're on the tip of your, like this is a milestone, and from now on we can only benefit and hopefully not lose anything out of it. Yeah. Inshallah, we'll say goodbye for tonight. Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum. Ameen. Okay. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.